Hello there, Nicole Parker here. I'm a member at Faith Presbyterian Church, and I'm married to Nathan, one of the pastors at the church. I wonder if you've noticed that we've had a few deaf visitors to our church and an interpreter interpreting our services. Typically during the school year, they come to the 11 o'clock service, but they've been with us throughout the summer as well. Well, I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I grew up in a house that used American Sign Language every day. I have a brother who's deaf, and my mother taught American Sign Language at the college level for 36 years. We have a vibrant deaf congregation with a deaf pastor at my home church in Bakersfield, California. And actually, that pastor, Pastor Jeff, is brothers with Pastor Pete at Christ Church in Atlanta, where Nathan was working, and that's how we met, through the deaf Pastor Jeff and hearing Pastor Pete, and they introduced us, and here we are, 16 years later, married and serving at Faith. The purpose of this video today is to give you a little bit of education about deaf culture and to teach you a few signs if you would like to interact with our deaf guests. Well, first of all, I want to encourage you when you interact with our deaf guests not to just speak louder. That doesn't really help. But if you would like help from an interpreter, you just ask the interpreter, or you can ask me or anybody else who seems familiar enough to help you, and then speak directly to the deaf person. Do not say, Nicole, will you tell her blah, 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 or Abigail, will you tell him such and such? You say, hi, what's your name? And speak directly to them as you would with another person. And then the deaf person will look at the interpreter and look at you and be a-okay from there. But just do not say, will you tell him or will you tell her? That's very rude to do for a deaf person. Another thing to do is not to break sight lines. If you see two people using sign language together, do not walk right through the middle of them. That's very rude also. So make sure you go around that conversation, not to break through sight lines there. So first of all, how to get a deaf person's attention. This may seem rude in your culture, but it's okay to wave like this to get their attention, or to tap them on the shoulder. Obviously, they're not going to turn if you shout or just talk, so just get their attention that way. In a room full of deaf people, usually someone flicks the lights on and off, but that's how you get a whole room full of deaf people to pay attention to somebody up front. But it's okay to wave or to tap on the shoulder to get the deaf person's attention. First, I'm going to teach you how to say hello. I bet you can guess what it is. Hello. Or just a wave like this. Hello. Incidentally, it's also the way we say goodbye. Just the same. Next, you can say, my name is. My name, 2 fingers on each side. Name, and then you can finger spell your name. My name is Nicole. I was given the name sign Nicole. My mom is Deanne, my dad is Mike, my sister is Kristen, and I'm Nicole. It's all, the whole family is on the same side of the face. It's typically good to have a deaf person give you a name sign, but typically it has something to do with your facial features or something about you. My brother Matthew, who's deaf, is also blind in his left eye, so his name sign is Matthew. It doesn't matter if you are left-handed or right-handed, which hand is your dominant hand. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so my name is Nicole. You could finger spell your name. We could do alphabet lesson later if you want to do that, but a lot of people seem to know the alphabet. And then you can ask our deaf guest what his or her name is. You would say, your name. So your face is the question mark. What's your name? Your shoulders come up. That's a question mark. Your name, what? And they'll tell you what their name is. Okay, next, nice to meet you. 2 flat hands, fingers together. Nice to meet. So we have one person here and one person here, and they're meeting. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Next, we have, if you talk to them again the next week, you might say, you already met them, so you said, nice to meet you. You want to say, happy to see you, or I'm glad you came. I can do that for you. Here it is. Happy It's that same hand, but brush up on your chest 2 times. Happy to see you. Happy to see you. Or just happy to see, and you're looking right at the person. That gets the point across. Or I'm happy you came. You came, wherever it is you're coming from. It's a multi-directional sign. So you can come from here, you could come from there, it doesn't matter. Happy you came. Happy you came to church. See, flat hand here, tap it on top, that's church. Happy to see you. I'm happy you came to church. Welcome. Welcome to church. You're basically bringing the hand in to your chest. Welcome to church. Next, you might want to say, see you later, or see you next week. Here's that sign C, again, C, and then L, later, like the time is going around the clock. See you later, or see you next week. This sign is week, this is last week, this is next week. See you next week at church. Bye-bye. Also, a lot of deaf people say goodbye by saying, I love you. It's not like, oh, you're the love of my life, da, da, da. It's just a much more casual, like, goodbye. So you can say, I love you. There's the I, the L for love, the Y for you. This is shorthand for I love you. And a lot of times we wink this little finger here, ding, 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 and it makes me think of little hearts coming off the top. See you later. Love you. Bye-bye. So you'll find that our deaf visitors, most people in deaf culture are very friendly and very patient with people who are trying to communicate with them. It means a lot. It really does. You'll also find they're incredibly observant. If you meet them week after week after week, they'll notice any little thing about you or your appearance that might be different, and they're extremely blunt. So be prepared for, oh, you got your hair cut? I liked it better before. Or something like that. It's just something they do. They're not being rude. It's just a very blunt culture, very blunt culture. They love to chat, and they'll just be really appreciative of any effort that you make to communicate with them. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you find it helpful, and I will see you at church next week. Bye-bye.